Hi everybody, welcome back to the island, and in this video I will be showcasing my top 5 favorite Lionel Legacy steam locomotives. So let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, I just want to explain the grading and judging criteria I used to classify these locomotives. Now first of all these locomotives are from my own personal collection and are not borrowed from others. So, based off of my personal interest and examining things that I value most in locomotives, I chose to judge them based off of 4 main categories. So, those are detail and appearance, sound, difference in tooling, and functionality and features. So let's get started. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce locomotive number 5. Now, this locomotive was actually the first command control locomotive in my O-scale collection and still remains a common freight puller on the layout. So, locomotive number 5 is the Lionel Canadian Pacific 10-wheeler number 914. So I've turned the sounds down a little bit on the locomotive so you can hear me speak. So let's get started with my criteria. So what sets this apart to me is the road number specific detail, as you can see through the additional number board placed on top of the front headlight, which is accurate to real Canadian Pacific D10s, the white walled wheels on the drivers. But before we move on to locomotive number 4, here's that awesome road-specific crew talk and dialogue.
CP 914, you are cleared onto the main. Over. Roger that. All clear. Moving to the outbound. 914 out. This is CP 914. Air is made. Brake test okay. Am I clear to make a move? Over. Negative 914, please stand by. Over. Okay, standing by. Let me know when I can depart. 914 out.
Also, the whistle and the bell on this locomotive have not been repeatedly introduced in any additional legacy locomotive since this 10-wheeler's release in 2010. So stay tuned to the end of the video where I'll show this and each of my other locos in action on the layout. Next locomotive, topping out number 4 is Nickelplate Road number 587. Released by Lionel in their 2017 signature catalog, this light mic was the first Legacy Mikado to be arranged specifically to match its prototype. Notice how 587's tender is the same as Nickelplate Road Berkshire number 765's tender, which is road specific for the real Nickelplate Road 587 too. This locomotive also has blackened side rods, the whistle steam smoke effect, and lit number boards. Okay, pulling in for locomotive number 3 is that's right, Scenic Railroad Heisler number 6. To me, this logging locomotive is the epitome of Lionel engineering in small steam locomotives. Notice how the boiler diameter is only 1.5 inches, but the locomotive is still equipped with whistle steam. To top that, the locomotive has a great sounding whistle which was only repeatedly used on the Vision Line Hudson, and how the Heisler is equipped with a hinged spark arrestor. This feature not only gives me easier access to drop-in smoke fluid, but also provides a cool-looking smoke effect. And the front and rear electrocouplers are a plus too. And now, for locomotive number 2. may I present the 2014 rendition of Lionel's Nickelplate Road 765. Now, what's special about this locomotive is that it also has the Rich Melvin crew talk, as Rich Melvin was once the engineer for Nickelplate Road 765, and it has the correctly colored smoke box on the front of the locomotive. Now, in addition, this locomotive also has whistle steam, and this locomotive, by biased opinion, is the most used locomotive on my lab. Now, the boilerplates also speak for themselves in authenticity, as well as the locomotive's exterior detail. As a side note, I also rode behind the real Nickelplate Road 765 on board the Lehigh Gorge Special on August 22nd, 2015, when the train ran with private cars on the lead end. As a side note, in addition to my first side note, I was even able to find MTH's run of the Florida East Coast, which is the cart that I rode in. And last but not least, my all-time favorite Lionel Legacy locomotive is that's right, the Legacy Southern Crescent PS4 Pacific number 1393. To me, this locomotive scores the highest in all of my criteria, and here's why. First up, its whistle and bell are my favorite sounding, not only because of the whistle's deep and quillable bass, but because of the limited times Lionel has used this set of sounds. In terms of detail, this locomotive knocks it out of the park with all of its exterior piping, white walls, tender lettering, and dome striping. I especially love the detailed walkway on the tender and the cylinder detail.